With the 2023 draft cheat sheet from Basement Brewed Fantasy Football, you're not just going to get a top-to-bottom list of names that you're expected to follow blindly during your draft. Instead, you're going to get a resource that paints the full picture and tells the entire story. You're always going to know who to draft, when to draft them, and perhaps most importantly, why you want to draft them. If you want to know why to draft somebody, simply click on their beer emoji in the column and you're going to find a detailed 2023 preview and what to expect from that player this upcoming season. If you want to know when to draft a player, you're going to find two different color-coded value columns to help you make some quick snap decisions during your draft. In the first column, the ADP value column, you're going to see how BBFF rankings compare to average draft position, or ADP. Players that are shaded in green tend to be players that BBFF likes more than consensus does, whereas players that are shaded in red tends to be players that we like less than the average draft position or the consensus does in fantasy football drafts. In the second color-coded column, you're going to find a dynamic value that changes and evolves based on where you're at in your draft. So let's say up here at the top, you have an opportunity to change the current pick. Let's say there have been 7 selections in your draft and you are now on the 8th pick in the draft. Simply change the current pick bar to pick 8, and you're going to see that the dynamic value graph has changed to start to show you easily who is becoming a value in your draft and who it still might make sense to wait on. Players that are colored in green mean that they should have been picked several picks ago, and players that are shaded in red will tell you players that probably won't be picked yet based on ADP. So for example, if you're on pick 8 and somehow, some way Christian McCaffrey is still on the board, the dynamic value grid is going to scream at you in bright green to tell you, hey, this player should have been picked 4 picks ago. Or let's just say, for example, you're on pick 24 and Christian McCaffrey is still on the board. It's going to scream at you to tell you, hey, this guy should have been picked 20 picks ago. Now is a great time to capitalize on that value and make that draft pick. That, my friends, is where drafts are won. Of course, you're going to want to be able to clear out the clutter as you draft, so all you need to do to continuously update this as your draft goes on is anytime a player is picked, simply click on their name to start getting them out of there. Once you check the box, it's going to remove them, or of course you can simply come up here, type in the player's name. Let's get rid of Christian McCaffrey, and then let's say, I don't know, let's say somebody takes Jonathan Taylor. We're going to type that in. You can simply remove players from this list with every single pick, and everything is going to evolve as you continue to update it. Last but not least, it's important to pay attention to how a player's ADP, or average draft position, has been trending. So if you want to know how a group of players have been trending on the general public's draft boards, all you need to do is click on one person's name or several people's name, and you're going to see a grid at the bottom of this chart that's going to show you which players are climbing up draft boards over the last several days and weeks, and which players are falling down draft boards over the last several weeks. If a player is climbing and they're trending up draft boards, that's going to tell you that's a player you might want to reach on if it's a player you really want to get on your team, knowing that your league mates might be aiming for them higher than their ADP suggests. Players that are falling down draft boards might indicate to you that you have an opportunity to wait just a little bit longer on that player, and you might be able to get them a round or two later than what their ADP suggests. Either way, the BBFF draft cheat sheet for 2023 is going to give you the full picture. It's going to paint the entire picture, and it's always going to make sure you know who you are drafting, when you are drafting them, and why you are drafting them. Cheers! This brews for you.